excited about it. I'm going to hand over to Alastair to say a few words and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Sonja. Yeah, it's an exciting day for myself and my family. I'm sure it's an exciting day for the North Melbourne Footy Club in terms of starting a new chapter in its history, which always seems to be the case when a new coach comes in. But yeah, I've got so many wonderful memories of this place, and it's changed a little bit since I was last here, I might add. The facilities are a little bit sharper than the old Northerners room when I played my footy at this club. But I've got such fond memories of what this club has done for me over my journey. I can remember as a 9-year-old child, the first time I ever came to Melbourne was to come to watch the 1977 grand final, which ended up being a draw between North Melbourne and Collingwood. And I was there was a carload of senior conniver gentlemen, and I was a 9-year-old kid sitting in the middle of the front seat. Oscar Harrison, Sass Williams, Daggy Prigg, GM Sanders, it was his car, and Barney Alexander, and the five of us came down to watch the grand final. It was a draw, and then we came here to the pleasant Sunday morning at Arden Street, and Sass Williams won a North Melbourne footy in a raffle, and gave it to me. I was a 9-year-old kid. They were drinking beers in the grandstand here, and I was out on the oval here kicking this footy. It was where I really fell in love with the game. I didn't fall in love with that club at this point in time. That came 10 years later. When I was going through a tough time in my life, I'd lost my brother in a car accident, and I really needed some direction in my life. And I was so fortunate that Greg Miller has approached me to come to this club and play. And my first coaches, I couldn't have been blessed with better coaches in Dennis Pagan as the under-19s coach and John Kennedy Senior as our senior coach. And those three gentlemen, Ron Joseph, together with my wife, who I met at that point in time, they were so pivotal to me at that stage of my life, because I was going through a really, really tough time in my life following the death of my brother, and mischievous, and would be a good description of me if you asked anyone about a young Clarkson at 17, 18 years of age, but could easily have gone one way or the other. And I was so fortunate I had those people. So when it comes time to make decisions as pivotal as this one, you think back to the moments in your life where you really needed some support. This club gave it to me. And perhaps the shoe is on the other foot right now, where this club needs some support and some help. And that was pivotal in us making a decision to come back and help the club and help get itself back on track again. It's an exciting time to be involved in the club. There's so many wonderful things that have happened, particularly off the field, and particularly in regard to getting the club back in the black and being financially sustainable from one year to the next, which has always been a trouble. Was always a trouble in my time at the club. We ran on the smell of an oily rag. We were very, very successful in that period of time through the 70s through the 90s. But it's a real credit to the club that with the things that they've done around this place, and this proposal and the precinct of this whole area, and our retention of our spiritual roots to the Arden Street area and the developing precinct is really, really exciting to be involved in. There's just so much work that's been done at this club off the field, and the great challenge now is what we can do on the field, and I'm really excited with that as well. I know that 2 wins and 19 losses is not a great year. Who knows what will transpire in tomorrow's game against Gold Coast, but I do know that this is a special club that has a really nice link to its history, and now it's about getting ourselves ready for the future.
When did you, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
When did you decide? When did you actually decide? Was it last night? Was it this morning? Was it Friday?
No, ironically, got a great opportunity that had been organised 2 weeks ago to spend some time in Adelaide with a great friend of mine who'd fallen ill, and I got a great chance to speak with him on Wednesday morning, and another great mentor of mine, Ken Russell, who I've been heavily involved with at Central District. And they're just really good football people that haven't got a bias to anyone in AFL footy necessarily, and that really helped shape a lot of our thinking. But it was probably we always knew as a family that 7 o'clock last night was going to be the time where Steph would zoom in from Brisbane, and the two children, Matthew and Georgia and Karen, would sit down as a family and say, okay, what are we going to do? So at probably 7:30 last night, it was stamped that the Kangaroos was going to be our new home.
Was that unanimous with the family?
Yeah, they were all pretty excited. You know, we've been on a real journey over the last 12 months, to be fair, but certainly the last 4 weeks with GWS and North Melbourne, and then in the last 3 or 4 days with Essendon, and that's been. All of these clubs are in these positions for a reason, and every club goes through it at some point in time in their history. It just happens that these 3 clubs at this point in time are just battling a little bit with their on-field performances, and change happens with every club. But as we've seen with Collingwood and Carlton, who this time last year were viewed to be basket cases in the competition, and now we've got 3 more clubs that are going to be viewed as basket cases, and in 12 months' time there's going to be another 2 or 3. It's the lay of the land in this business that we're in. But as we've seen with Carlton or Collingwood, it doesn't take much to turn it around either. And you get the right people and the right vision, and all people marching to the same tune, and you can pick things up pretty quickly. We know we've got a lot of work to do at the club to get the on-field fortunes back to where we want this club to be. I'm really excited with that challenge, but it's going to take a lot of hard work, and we're going to need all these lads to really chip in and have a lot of support from for our North members, and continue to grow that, and continue to grow this club both here in Melbourne but also beyond Melbourne as well. We've got an icon of a symbol, in a sense, that a kangaroo is on the coat of arms. It's pretty unique and special. We're the only club in the competition that's got it. We've got the kangaroo on the Tommy Sherrin footy as well, which is pretty special as well. So everywhere you look, there's a kangaroo.